ஆழ்வார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருவடிகளே சரணம், பிள்ளைலோகாச்சாரியர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். In this auspicious occasion of Pillailokacharya's Tirunakshatra and Manavan Mamnigal's Tirunakshatra Utsavam time, we are coming towards the end of mumukshuppadi Kalakshepam. Pillailokacharya, out of his great compassion, blessed us with mumukshuppadi, which is a very beautiful grantham which comprehensively gives Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram and Charma Shlokam meanings in a very clear manner, so that it is easy for all of us to understand and practice the same. We've been going through this for the last several months. Now we are in the final session. We have seen up to 271st Sutram. After explaining Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram and Charma Shlokam, towards the end of Charma Shloka Prakaranam, Pillailokacharya explains the greatness of Charma Shlokam and the nature of those who are fully focused on Charma Shlokam, and so on in the final section. So we are going to see from the 272nd Sutram today. Let us first recite the Tanyans of Manavan Mamnigal and Pillailokacharya, and then we will start the session today. श्रीशैलेशदयापात्रं दीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवं यतीन्द्रप्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरं मुनिं लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोग सन्दष्ट जीवजीवातवे नमः. In the 271st Sutram, a very important aspect was clarified by Pillailokacharya. Manavan Mamnigal has given beautiful commentary for mumukshuppadi, with the help of which we are going through the meanings for Tirumantram, Dvaya Mahamantram and Charma Shlokam. In this Sutram, 271st Sutram, Pillailokacharya established that even though we don't pursue Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, even Prapatti as upayam to reach Bhagavan, as means to reach Bhagavan, they are still pursued by us in a different way. That all our activities which are sanctioned by Shastram, all our karmam, they will all become part of Kainkaryam. All the jnanam which we acquire, we don't acquire to reach Bhagavan, but we acquire that for enlightenment, which is part of the process. Bhakti will become part of Prapya Ruchi, that is the taste in performing Kainkaryam to Bhagavan. Without desire, without interest, one cannot perform Kainkaryam. So that interest, that Ruchi is Bhakti. And then Prapatti is a part of Swarupa Yatatmya Jnanam, that is realizing that this Jivatma is totally surrendered to, dependent on Paramatma. That understanding makes us surrender to Bhagavan. That is, knowing well that this Jivatma is a totally dependent person on Bhagavan facilitates one to perform surrender, Sharanagati. So all of these activities, though we don't perform them as upayam, they are still present in our day-to-day activities. So it is just the attitude which is changing. So we perform karma, we do that as Kainkaryam. We learn, We acquire knowledge so that we can understand Bhagavan better, we can understand the self better. We have bhakti so that we can perform Kainkaryam with real interest. And we perform Prapatti because we understand that we are totally dependent on Bhagavan and we have no other option than performing Prapatti to Bhagavan. So none of these are upayams for Sri Vaishnavas, for Prapannas. They are only natural aspects which eventually lead to Bhagavan. And that is also done by the grace of Bhagavan. So that was emphasized in 271st Sutram. Now, 272nd Sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's introduction. Now, there is a question here. If Bhakti and Prapatti are eliminated from being the upayam, from being the means, then what is the real upayam? What is the real sadhanam for this particular adhikari, for this particular jivatma who is totally dependent on Bhagavan? That is the question here. For that, Pillalokacharya is giving answer in the 272nd Sutram. ஒரு பலத்துக்கு அரிய வழியையும் எளிய வழியையும் உபதேசிக்கையாலே இவை இரண்டும் ஒழிய பகவத் பிரசாதமே உபாயமாக கடவது. So this is the sutram. Simple meaning for the sutram is, for a particular result, Bhagavan himself is instructing a very difficult path, which is Bhakti Yogam, and then an easy path, which is Sharanagati. We are going to see where he is instructing. This is all based on Bhagavad Gita itself. So when Bhagavan himself is showing the difficult path as well as easy path, instead of these two, Bhagavan's grace, prasadam means his grace, that is the real means, says this sutram. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. So here, for Bhagavad Prapti, that is reaching Bhagavan and engaging in eternal Kainkaryam for Bhagavan, Bhagavan himself is giving difficult means as well as easy means, easy process and difficult process. Where does he do that? He gives in Janmantara Sahasreshu Tapojnana Samadhibihi Naranam Shinapapanam Krishne Bhakti Prajayate. So this is instructed in Shastram that after many thousands of births, after pursuing Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, and after eliminating all the sins, for a particular person, Bhakti towards Krishna occurs. That is pure Bhakti. So this is the lengthy process. Bhagavan also explains this in Gita in many different places. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru. He says, Tesham satadevtanam bhajatam pritikam. So in many places, Bhagavan explains about Bhakti Yogam, where he instructs that by constantly engaging in this Bhakti Yogam, Bhagavan himself will facilitate the ultimate deliverance of the Jivatma. But this Bhakti Yogam is a process which goes through many births, as shown in this particular Pramanam, Janmantara Sahasreshu Tapojnana Samadhivihi Naranam Shina Papanam. After eliminating all these sins, because for both Bhakti Yogam and Prapatti Yogam, Bhagavan eliminates, for one who enters into Bhakti Yogam, Bhagavan eliminates Sanchita Karma. For Prapatti Sharanagata also, for one who performs Sharanagati also, he eliminates Sanchita karma. In addition to that, for Sharanagata, Bhagavan also eliminates Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is the smallest set of karma we have to go through. Sanchita karma is the full set of karma we have accumulated since time immemorial. As long as we have been in samsara, we have been accumulating karma. That whole baggage is Sanchita karma. A small package of that is taken and given to the Jivatma by Bhagavan, asking him to go through that for several births. For Bhakti Yoga Nishtha also, for one who practices Bhakti Yoga also, Bhagavan eliminates Sanchita karma. So, until Prarabdha karma needs to be exhausted, the Bhakti Yoga Nishtha should remain in the Bhakti Yoga process without falling down. Bhagavan will, of course, facilitate that, but it is still number of births. We don't know how many number of births, depending on one's Prarabdha karma. But for Sharanagata, even in the Prarabdha karma, until the end of this particular birth, whatever karma is required, only that much is kept by Bhagavan, rest all are eliminated. So there is guarantee for Sharanagata that this person will be delivered at the end of this birth. So that is the easy path. So one who performs Sharanagati, he gets the easy path. Within one lifetime, he gets to go to Bhagavan. For Bhakti Yoga Nishtha, one has to go through the process of Prarabdha Karma exhaustion, and finally he will reach Bhagavan. So that is explained here in this Pramanam Janmantara Sahasreshu. So by going through in many births, by having Karma Yogam and Jnana Yogam as Anga, as ancillary aspects, by one performing Bhakti Yogam, one will reach Bhagavan. That is the difficult process. And Sarvadharman Parityajya Shlokam given by Bhagavan in the end of Bhagavad Gita, he clearly says that you give up all of that, I will deliver you certainly. I will eliminate all the sins which are blocking your reaching me. Whatever sins are blocking you from reaching me, I will eliminate those. So this is the easy process. But because Bhagavan is instructing both of these himself, irrespective of the difficulty or the ease of the particular processes, ultimately Bhagavan is the Palapradata. He is the one who has to grant the result, whether it is Sharanagati or whether it is Bhakti Yogam. Becoming pleased by that particular activity, Bhagavan grants the result. So, since Bhagavan's prasadam, his grace, is the primary aspect in the providing of the result, granting of the result, we can simply say that instead of these two being the means, Bhagavan's grace is the real upayam, real means, says Manavan Mamigal in the commentary for this particular shlokam. That is 272nd Sutram. Now, let us see 273rd Sutram. Okay. 273rd Sutram. Now there is a question. Pillai Lokacharya is answering question in this 273rd Sutram. Now, if we say that Bhagavan is the upayam, Bhagavan is the means, so is there nothing the Jivatma should do? Is there nothing expected in the Jivatma? That is the question here. For that, Lokacharya is saying in 273rd Sutram, பேற்றுக்கு வேண்டுவது விளக்கமையும் இறப்பும். So, simple meaning for this is Peru means result. For the result, it is required in the Jivatma Vilakamai. Vilakamai means non-rejection. And Irappu means prayer. These two are required in Jivatma, says Pillalokacharya. This particular aspect is explained in great detail in Sri Vachanabhushanam, but he is giving a little bit of a hint here. Let us see Mamnigal's commentary. It's very short commentary here. Now, for the Palasiddhi, for attaining the result, what is required in Jivatma? Bhagavan has been trying to help us. He is explained as a farmer who plants and nurtures bhakti in the Jivatma. Since time immemorial, he is trying to help every Jivatma. And he is also protecting the Jivatma. Whether we like it or not, whether the individual accepts or not, Bhagavan is present as the Antaryami and he is protecting every Jivatma since time immemorial. Now, when Bhagavan is doing all of this, all along, this Jivatma, until he becomes favorable. That is, for example, we have become, let's say, a Sharanagata through an Acharya. Until this time, we've been rejecting his help. Whenever he comes to help us, we say, no, we don't need your help. We keep rejecting him. Now, by his constant effort, we have stopped that rejection. So, that non rejection is very, very important. And the next stage of non rejection is facing towards Bhagavan and praying to him. Now, please accept me at your lotus feet. That prayer is required. So, these two are required. Now, why is this prayer required? We can say that only non-rejection is sufficient. Mamnigal is very beautifully using the apt words here. Now, he is saying for the result to become Purushartham. Purushartham means that which is desired by Jivatma. There should be prayer in the Jivatma side. Unless there is desire. For example, generally Purushartha means Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are all Purushartha means these are desired by people in general. Now, for this Moksha, that is eternal Kainkaryam to Bhagavan, for that to become a result for the Jivatma, there should be desire in the Jivatma, and that desire should be announced to Bhagavan by this prayer. We have seen this in detail in the Dvaya Prakaranam itself. Even in Charmashlokam, we have seen that these can be Manasa, Vachika, Kayika, Sharanagati can be any one of these. So this prayer need not be by speech because there may be a person who cannot speak. For that person, just mind level prayer is sufficient. But that prayer should be there because only with that realization that we have to serve Bhagavan eternally in Paramapadam. That longing, that prayer is very essential because without that it cannot become a Purushartham. Because moksha is also a Purushartham according to Shastra. Unless the Jivatma desires, it cannot become a Purushartha. So that is the explanation given by Manaval Mamnihal in the commentary. Very crisp and very precise explanation by Mamnihal. Next, 274th Sutram. Now, there is a question here. Is it sufficient that we have non-rejection and prayer? Should we not do something on our own to impress upon Bhagavan? Should we not do some good deeds, considering them to be upayam? That is the question. For that, Pillalokacharya is saying that Bhagavan who is the upaya bhuta, Bhagavan who is the means, for him, such self-effort is anishtam. It's undesirable for him. He is giving that with an example. 274th Sutram, சக்கரவர்த்தி திருமகன் பாபத்தோடே வரிலும் அமையும் என்றான், இவன் புண்ணியத்தை புகட்டு வரவேணும் என்றான். So there is a slight difference shown between Bhagavan in the form of Sri Rama and Bhagavan in the form of Krishna. So here the context is about Krishna, because Krishna is giving us this instruction in Bhagavad Gita. There is a slight difference between both of them. Bhagavan, Sri Rama said, even if you come with sins, I will accept you. Krishna says, to come to me, you have to give up all the punya also. So from these two, we can conclude that Bhagavan is not expecting anything, any self-efforts from Jivatma. That is the conclusion. So let us see Mamnigal's commentary here. So Chakravarti Tirumagan, that is Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. Bhagavan is embodiment of, Sri Rama is embodiment of Dharma. Such Chakravarti Tirumaga. Chakravarti Tirumagan means the divine son of Emperor Dasharatha. So Sri Rama said, Yadiva Ravana Swayam. So when Vibhishana was coming to perform Sharanagati, at that time Sugriva was convinced by Bhagavan, and then Bhagavan Sri Rama sent Sugriva himself to go and bring Vibhishana Advan. At that time, Bhagavan tells Sugriva, now you are going. Just in case if Ravana had come within the time we've had this discussion, you bring him also. I will accept him also. You don't need to come back and have a lengthy discussion with me like this. Already Vibhishana is very much tormented because of our lengthy discussion. He is thinking whether Rama will accept me or not. Such doubt should not happen in the minds of my devotees. So even if Ravana had come, you bring him. So that was the instruction given by Rama. So because of this, Bhagavan said, even if you come with sins, I will accept. So that was Bhagavan in the form of Sri Rama, his stand. Now Krishna said, Krishnam Dharmam Sanatan. Krishna is also embodiment of Dharma. Krishnam Dharmam Sanatanam. This is from Mahabharata. As said in this, the embodiment of Dharma himself said, Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Here he said, give up all Dharma and come to me. So whatever you think as virtuous deeds, you give up all of those and you come to me. So since Bhagavan, as Krishna said this, he is not thinking about punya as something which will facilitate the moksha. He is saying specifically that you give up all of those. So both from Rama's perspective and Krishna's perspective, there is nothing which is expected in the Jivatma. If we are not doing sins, we should not create new sins and surrender to Bhagavan. If we are not doing good deeds, we should not try to do good deeds and surrender to Bhagavan. Our good deeds are our natural activity. We are following the orders given by Bhagavan in Shastram. That is the only aspect we have to follow. We should not try to do good deeds to please Bhagavan, to get his special acceptance and so on. Because Bhagavan is Sahayantara Samsarga Asaha. He does not like any assistance from anyone. Bhagavan's nature is that he would like to independently grant the result to the Jivatma. He does not expect any assistance from anyone because he is supremely independent. He wants to exercise his abilities only to grant the result to individual. He does not want the Jivatma to think that maybe if I don't do certain good things, Bhagavan does not give me the result. So if the Jivatma thinks like that, or if Bhagavan behaves like that, then that will lead to think that there is some shortcoming in Bhagavan. Only with some assistance Bhagavan can help. But because Bhagavan is supremely independent, supremely unexpecting of anything from anyone, he wants to grant the result on his own without any help from anyone. Because of this fact, he wants to grant it on his own and he does not expect any assistance in the manner of any good deeds done by Jivatma as upayam. Again, there is always the difference. It doesn't mean that we don't do any good deeds. Yes, we have to. By following Shastram, we have to do good deeds only because Shastram says idam kuru, idam makarshit. It says you do good things, you do these things which are good, you do these things which are not good. So whatever we are asked to do, that will be good only. So we will be doing good things, but we won't do it as upayam. That is the main aspect here. So that is 274th Sutram. Let's see 271st Sutram. Very important Sutram. This is Mamnigal's introduction. So for someone who is well focused on this particular Charma Shlokam and its meaning, being an Astika and being uplifted is the only way. There is no other option. That is, one cannot remain an Astika Nastika. That is, partially accepting Bhagavan's words but not having full faith. That is Astika Nastika. Or being a total Nastika, which is completely rejecting Bhagavan's words here. So, that is explained in this Sutram by 270 by Pilay in this 271st Sutram. And Pilay is not telling this on his own, but he is quoting Embar's instructions to Parashara Bhattar. Let us see the Sutram. 275th Sutram. ஆஸ்திகனாய் இவ்வர்த்தத்தில் ருச்சி விசுவாசங்கள் உடையனாய் உஜ்ஜீவித்தல் நாஸ்திகனாய் நசித்தல் ஒழிய நடுவில் நிலையில்லை என்று பட்டருக்கு எம்பார் அருளிச் செய்த வார்த்தை. To Parashara Bhattar, Embar mercifully gave this instruction. That is, Astikana, being an Astika, having taste and faith in this particular Charma Shlokam and becoming uplifted, that is the only way. The other option is being a Nastika and becoming destroyed. There is no in between. There is no middle ground. Whether we accept fully with the ruchi, with the taste, and becoming delivered, or remaining unfaithful, or remaining somewhat faithful, not fully accepting the instructions, completely getting destroyed. Destroyed here means remaining in samsara. That is what is destruction means, because Atma cannot be killed or Atma cannot be destroyed. But remaining in samsaram itself is destruction only. So that is Embar's instruction to Parashara Bhattar is being quoted by Pilay here. Let us see Manavan Mamnigal's commentary here. One who is somehow got connected to this particular instruction, somehow engaged in this particular instruction, should think that by Bhagavan's greatness, this is 100% truth. This is Satyam. So with that faith, remaining as a faithful person, astika. Astika means generally remaining faithful. With that faith, complete faith, in this particular meaning, he should have taste and he should have complete faith that this instruction will not fail. This Charma Shlokam will certainly lead us to ultimate deliverance. With all of this, one can become uplifted. So that is one option. Now, the other option is thinking that Shastram is saying so many different upayams. Bhagavan is giving this particular upayam, that is Sharanagati, total surrender to Bhagavan. How can I believe Bhagavan? Should I not believe Shastram or should I not believe anything? So if we have so many doubts, one can become totally immersed in samsara and destroyed. So there is only two ways. One is becoming delivered by having total taste and faith in Charma Shlokam, or totally being immersed in samsara forever without faith in this particular Charma Shlokam. There is no middle ground. Now, when we say forever, in our sampradaya, there is no Nitya Samsari. Everyone has a chance to uh, be delivered at some point, but it's just a saying. So one can remain in samsara. So this instruction was given to Parashara Bhatta. Now Mamnigal, when he says Parashara Bhatta, he says Sakala Shastra Vitthamarana Parashara Bhattar. Embar is instructing this to Parashara Bhatta, who is an expert in all of Shastram. So this is instructed by Embar, instructed to one who is a total expert in Shastram. So we must see the weightage of this particular Charma Shlokam. How much importance has been given by Charma Shlokam, given to Charma Shlokam by our Acharyas, Alvars and Acharyas. Alvars also have given great importance, and Acharyas in specific, they have given such great importance to Charma Shlokam, Gita Charma Shlokam of Bhagavan. Because from the in the commentary, that is why we are saying that Manaval Mamnigal is putting the apt words in every possible situation. So he could have just said, Imbar instructed this to Parashara Bhatta, but he says specifically Sakala Shastra Vittamarana. So there is no doubt in the minds of Imbar, Parashara Bhatta, Pillai and Manaval Mamnigal about this particular principle, which is explained by Bhagavan. So that is explained here to make it firm that we have to have full faith in Charma Shlokam and have total dependence on Bhagavan as the only means and should not consider performing any other upayam because that is contradictory to our true nature and it is not also desired by Bhagavan. So to emphasize that point, it has been given so much focus in these Sutrams here. That is 275th Sutram. Now 276th Sutram. What if one pursues this particular Charma Shlokam without total faith? That is explained with an example by Pillai in the 276th Sutram. விவசாயம் இல்லாதவனுக்கு இதில் அன்வயம் ஆமத்தில் போஜனம் போலே. That is, for one who does not have unflinching faith in this particular meaning, this is like food during indigestion. So that will lead to destruction only. When somebody is having indigestion problem, if we keep feeding them food, what will happen? It will lead to destruction of the individual. So that is explained in this 276th Sutram. Now, let us see Mamnigal's commentary. Now, what is the aspect where one needs total faith here? Tyaga Svikara. So for Tyagam, giving up all other upayams, one must have total faith. And for pursuing Bhagavan only as the means, one must have total faith. So these are the two aspects which need total faith. Because we can say total faith in this, but what is this? Is it this full shlokam or some part of the shlokam? So that is what is explained by Manavar Mamnigal here. For the tyaga, for giving up all the upayams, one must have total faith. Unless one firmly believes Bhagavan, one will not be able to give up other upayams. Similarly, unless one firmly believes Bhagavan, one will not be able to take up Bhagavan as the upayam. So, for such person who don't have total faith in Tyaga and Svikara, if he engages in this particular means, Bhagavan as the upayam, it will be like consuming food during indigestion. That will even lead to death. There is a possibility. So, with that example, Manavar Mamnigal is saying that one must have total faith and one must follow the instructions of Purvacharyas clearly, because lot of these principles, though we know theoretically, when it comes to practice, it takes a lot of understanding, it takes a lot of guidance to practice these in full. We can easily read mumukshuppadi, we can easily understand the meanings also with the help of commentary of Manavar Mamnigal. That is the whole purpose of Mamnigal's commentary, to make us understand mumukshuppadi. But after understanding, how do you put it in practice? For that, we need a lot of guidance, we need a lot of hand holding at times, and deviating. So, for that, the total faith it will happen and Bhagavan. Without that total faith, it will lead to unexpected results only. That is 276th Sutram. Next is 277th Sutram. In this Sutram, Pilalokacharya is saying, who is the qualified person to pursue this particular means, to pursue this particular upayam? For that question, Pilalokacharya is answering in this Sutram, 277th Sutram, விட்டு சித்தர் கேட்டிருப்பர் என்கிறபடியே அதிகாரிகள் நியதர். As said in விட்டு சித்தர் கேட்டிருப்பர், this is from நாச்சியா திருமொழி பாசுரம். செம்மையுடைய திருவரங்கர் தாம் பணித்த மெய்மை வார்த்தை விட்டு சித்தர் கேட்டிருப்பர். In this pasuram, Andal Nachiyar says, Vishnu Chitta, that is Periyalvar, her father, will hear this great word of Charama Shlokam, and after hearing those instructions, he remains firm in the meanings and practices it fully. As said in that Sutram, as said in that Pasuram, these qualified persons will remain fixed in this particular upayam, in this particular Charma Shlokam. That is the simple meaning for this particular Sutram. Mamnigal's commentary. The Pasuram is Andal Nachiyar's Pasuram. செம்மையுடைய திருவரங்கர் தாம் பணித்த மெய்மை பெருவார்த்தை சித்தர் கேட்டிருப்பர். In this Pasuram, directly Andal Nachiyar is saying, Tiruvarangar, Periya Perumal is Krishna himself. Sri Ganatha is Krishna himself. He spoke மெய்மை பெருவார்த்தை, the great true words, that is Gita Dharma Shlokam. Those words, Vishnu Chitta will hear and will remain according to that instructions. This Ketirpa is a Tamil usage. Ketirpa means he will hear it. It is just a simple meaning, but he will hear and remain according to that. That is the detailed meaning here, the deep meaning here. That is, as said in this pasaram, by having honesty in Karanatrayam, that is mind, speech, and body, Bhagavan is having all his three senses in harmony, and he is remaining in Srirangam with great mercy to uplift everyone. The same Sri Ranganatha was standing in front of the chariot and was instructing to Arjuna. The most easiest process explained in this particular Mamikam Sharanam Raja. He explained this shlokam to Arjuna. It is the same Periparamana Sri Ranganatha who is in Srirangam. He stood in front of Arjuna on the chariot and explained this Dharma shlokam to Arjuna. And Periyalvar heard this instructions and he remained according to those instructions. It is not that he heard and he forgot about it. It is not that he heard and he just did whatever he wanted. But he heard and then he remained as per the instructions of Bhagavan in the Charma Shlokam. So those who are fully focused on the Charma Shlokam, they will remain as per the instructions of Charma Shlokam. So that is explained in the commentary here. That is 277th Sutram. Now 278th Sutram. This is the final Sutram. This is the concluding Sutram of the mumukshuppadi. Let us see Maunga's introduction. Now finally, Villokacharya is putting a couple of asanams from the developments of Pandavas and concluding the mumukshuppadi. Starting with Vartai Arivavar. Let us see the Sutram. Vartai Arivavar என்கிற பாட்டும் அத்தனாகி என்கிற பாட்டும் So here, Mamnigal is mercifully the full commentary for these two pasarams and is explaining them based on Purvacharya's words directly. Let us see the pasarams and the explanation given by Mamnigal. This passaram மாயவர் காலன்றி அவரோ பேர்த்த பிறப்போடு நோயோடு மூப்போடு இறப்பை பெற்று பெருந்துன்பம் வேற நீக்கி தன் தாழ்நைக்கில் சேர்த்து அவர் செய்யும் சேமத்தை எண்ணி தெளிவுற்று வீரன்றியே. That is the pasaram. That is from Tiruvayamudi. கற்பார் ராமனான எல்லாரும். For that, Mamnigal explains, for those who understand this word, Mamnikam Sharanvrata Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami, those who know these good words, they will be relieved by Bhagavan himself from these births which are surrounding the Jivatma totally. And then he is explaining these பொறுத்த பிறப்போடு நோயோடு மூப்போடு இறப்பிவை. பிறப்பு இறப்பு நோய் மூப்பு, birth, death, all of those are explained here. Birth, death, old age and disease, all of those are explained here. The first birth, which is totally surrounding the Jivatma and pushing the Jivatma into the samsara, and then the disease which travels along with the Jivatma in every birth, and then the Jara, that is old age, which falls on the head like thunder, that, and then finally, even if one can manage somehow, finally one will face death. So all of these are pushed out by Bhagavan very easily. Bhagavan does not have to put in a lot of effort because he knows the skill, he has the ability to eliminate these very easily. Just as a very talented uh, building breaker, there are certain people who break down buildings. They just know specific points where they will put nails and mark them, and then by hitting there, they will pull down. Bhagavan will eliminate all of these After eliminating birth, old age, disease, and death, finally one goes to liberation. At that point also, Bhagavan is eliminating the Jivatma from entering Kaivalyam stage, which is another pitfall at the last moment. And finally, he is giving this great fortune of having the Jivatma reach the lotus feet of Bhagavan and eternally engage in Kainkaryam for Bhagavan. So, this particular explanation is given for this பாசுரம். போர்த்த பிறப்போடு நோயோடு மூப்போடு இறப்பிவை பெயர்த்து பெருந்துன்பம் வேறற நீக்கி தன் தாழ்னை கீழ் சேர்க்கும். That is the explanation given by Mamnigal based on Purvacharya's explanation. So this pasuram is directly explaining the meaning of Charma Shlokam. Yes, Charma Shlokam, Bhagavan says, I will eliminate all your sorrows, I will eliminate all your sufferings, and I will deliver you. You don't worry. For that, Alvar has given the same meaning. Vartai Aribavar, Mayavar Kalandri Yavaro. Those who know this divine word of Charma Shlokam, will they not become totally surrendered to Bhagavan, Krishna? Why? Because he first eliminates birth, old age, disease, death, and then he eliminates the possibility of going into Kaivalyam, because this Kaivalyam is eternal. Once one goes into that, there is no coming back. Neither he will be coming back to samsara, nor he will be able to enter into Paramapadam and enjoy Bhagavan. In that Kaivalyam stage, one will be totally enjoying the self alone. That is, self enjoyment is the only option for the Jivatma. But that is very, very limited enjoyment. For that, Bhagavan is now facilitating the Jivatma from not entering in that stage also. Finally, he accepts the Jivatma into his lotus feet and giving eternal Kainkaryam. So all of these favors are done by Bhagavan. That is beautifully explained by this Pasuram, by Alvar in this Pasuram, Partayarivavar, Mayavar Kalandri Avaro. That is first Pasuram. The second Pasuram, அத்தனாகி அன்னையாகி ஆளுமெம்பிரானுமாய் புகுந்து முத்தனார் முகந்தனார் ஒத்தவாத பல்பிறப்பு மொழித்து நம்மை ஆட்கொள்வான். That is the second pasuram. This is from Tiruchandavirtham. See, in this pasuram, Alvar is saying, Nammul Mevinar, Yede Nenjame, Etinal Idarkidati. Bhagavan has entered us. Bhagavan is present as Antaryami inside us, inside each of the Jivatma. Oh, heart, he is talking to his own heart. Why are you worrying, ignorant heart? Why are you worrying? Bhagavan has been trying to uplift us since time immemorial. That is his constant effort. When he is trying to do this for so, why are you worrying? You should not be worrying. You should be fully dependent on such Bhagavan and be relieved of any sorrow. That is the instruction given by Tirumazhi Alvar in this Pasuram. Let us see Mamnigal's explanation based on Purvacharya commentary there. So, Bhagavan is entering into the Jivatmas in every body, in every life. He has been present along with the Jivatma, and he has been helping the Jivatma for so long. He remains the Sarvavida Bandhu, that is, he remains all types of relative for Jivatma. He is remaining as the father who cares for the well-being of the Jivatma. He remains as the mother who cares for the desires for the Jivatma. In this manner, when Bhagavan is taking up all the responsibility on himself, why should we worry about all of this? We need not worry. So this is Alvar's explanation to instruction to his own heart. Tirumali Alvar's instruction to his own heart. So Alvar is telling his heart, are we Sarvagya? Sarvagya means omniscient. And is he Agnya? Is he ignorant? So that do we have to do something for our well-being? Does he not know everything? And then he says, are we omnipotent? And is Bhagavan not capable? Should we help him in facilitating our deliverance? And then finally, are we prapta? Is it apt for us to do something for us? And is he aprapta? Is he not apt for us to, uh, is he not apt to help us? Doesn't he have the proper relationship, being the Swami and us being the his property? Is it not his responsibility to protect us? So, saying all of these, Alvar is telling his heart, why are you present in this ocean of sorrow? Don't remain in this ocean of sorrow. Be relieved of all the sorrows. Bhagavan will help us. So, that is the instruction given by Tirumali Alvar in this Pasuram. With this, the direct reference of Charma Shlokam given by Alvars, because Alvars are Aptathama. They are the most trustworthy persons, as they quote the same principles as Bhagavan, Krishna. Their quoting itself adds more value to Bhagavan's words. This is explained in Acharya Hridayam also. Bhagavan's words, when they are highlighted by Alvars, they get more value because Alvars are always looking for our well being. They will quote the best words of Bhagavan for us, and we can fully trust their quotes of Bhagavan also. So, with this, the Charma Shlokam's importance is highlighted. Now, Mamnigal is concluding the meanings of Charma Shlokam by giving brief explanation of all of the sections. That is, first, Sarvadharman, with the giving up of all the angams, all the upayams which are to be given up, that is highlighted. And then, how to give up those upayams, dharmams, that is explained in Parityajya. And then, Bhagavan's qualities, which are important for us to go and surrender to him. So such Bhagavan is highlighted by Mam, that is indicating his qualities such as Saulabhyam. And then Guna Vishishta Vastuvinuடைய Sahaya Asahatva Lakshanamana Nairapeksham. So Bhagavan does not expect help of anyone else. That is explained in Ekam. Even our surrender is not the reason for our upliftment. That is explained in Ekam. And then pursuing that means of Bhagavan, that is Sharanam. Nirapeksha, that Bhagavan being the Upayam, that is shown in Sharanam. Nirapeksha Vastuvilya Upayatva Bhavam. That is Bhagavan being the Upayam is shown in Sharanam. Sharanam means Upayam here. And then the pursuit of such Bhagavan as the means, that is Vraja. Sarvadharman Paritejya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. That Vraja is explained as the pursuit of Bhagavan as the Upayam. And then Aham. Aham explains the Bhagavan's great qualities such as Shakti, Jnanam, and so on. His greatness is highlighted. And then the Adhikari who becomes freed from all the burdens. That is explained in Twa. And then the group of papams, hurdles, that is papebhyo. And then how the sins or hurdles are eliminated, that is explained in Mokshayishyami. And then how the person who surrendered can remain without any fear or burden, that is explained in Mashuchaha. So all of these are explained in this Charma Shlokam, that is explained by Mamnigal. This is the again specialty of Mamnigal, who concludes everything nicely every time as and when required, so that we can understand, we can recollect them briefly. So that is explained in this mumukshuppadi. So we have gone through the meanings of Tirumantra Prakaranam, Dvaya Prakaranam, and Charma Shloka Prakaranam. Tirumantra Prakaranam speaks about the Bandham, where Bhagavan and Jivatma are eternally related, and it is the duty of Jivatma to eternally engage in service to Bhagavan. That is the crux of Tirumantram. In Dvayamaha Mantram, surrendering to Bhagavan with the Purushakaram of Pirati is actually first part, and praying for eternal Kainkariam to Bhagavan and Pirati for their exclusive pleasure, that is prayed in the second part. That was elaborately explained in Dvaya Prakaranam. And finally in Charma Shlokam, how Bhagavan is the exclusive means, not even our surrender is the means for this Sharanagati. This particular result attained by Sharanagati is explained by Bhagavan, and how he relieves us from all the burdens and how we should remain there or burden explained by Bhagavan. All these three are explained nicely by Pilokacharya in this wonderful Grantham. With the grace of Manavada Mamnigal, we've gone through the meanings for these three sections in as much detail possible. There may have been mistakes, many mistakes from my side. Hopefully, those will be forgiven. With the final prayers to Padalokacharya and Manavana Mamnigal, we conclude this series. Alvar Tirudikale Sharanam, Embermanar Tirudikale Sharanam, Padalokacharya Tirudikale Sharanam, Jiyar Tirudikale Sharanam, Jiyar Tirudikale Sharanam. Since there were some breaks in between, but now it is okay. It seems. Any questions? Brief questions can be answered. Okay, we'll recite Pallandu and complete the session. Pallandu, Pallandu, Pallayathandu, Palakodi, Moorayam, Mallandu, Tindon, Manivanam, Sevika, Padio, Modum, Nodum, Ayam, Pallandu, Padiwani, Malamaguni, Waginda, Mangayam, Pallandu, Vadivas, Vadivala, Ayam, Pallandu, Padapur, Pukamarangam, upon the Sanyam, Pallandi, Adian Ramandas. We'll look into the possibility of seeing something else in English. If there is any particular topic, you can send them by WhatsApp to me. I'll consider that.